Welcome to the NOLA.com, the Times-Picayune's prep preview show, where we're going to focus on all the schools from around Louisiana. I'm your host, Julie Boudwin, and joining me is Baton Rouge prep writer Jerit Roser. Jerit, thanks for coming down to the studio.
I'm just excited to do one of these things without Amos so I can be the best rapper on the set today.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I don't want to embarrass you in public.
I do that enough on my own, I guess.
All right, well, let's kick off the show with a school that just absolutely dominated the Class 5A state title game last year and was our #1 preseason school in the state, and that's Acadiana. The Wrecking Rams absolutely dominated Parkway, basically ran all over them. Will they be that dominant again this season?
I think they have a good chance to be. I think that #1 spot in our rankings is probably a good spot for them. It's not a deal where they return everybody, but they return quite a few guys, and they had so many guys do so many things that we saw in person at state championship game that they weren't going to lose all those guys. Donovan Solomon's back, Brykeithan Mouton, a recent LSU commitment, is back, just a couple of guys, and they have many more, so they'll be pretty loaded again.
And what about that defense? Do you see that defense being able to help them make that push to get back to maybe the Dome this year? Yeah,
I think they should be the favorite in 5A again. I think they have as strong a chance as anyone is at potentially repeating.
All right. Well, let's move up north and talk about Byrd. The Yellow Jackets fell short in the Division I title game against Rummel in a heartbreaker. Your thoughts on Byrd this season, and can they get back to the Dome?
Yeah, similar deal. It might be a pretty good year again for the Shreveport area. Byrd loses some folks, but they have a bunch of guys back. You look at all those H names in the backfield: Tyler Howard, Dominic Haggerty, Tyson Hardman. And the fact that they're moving from the select group to the non-select group, I think, is probably a good situation for them. So they don't have to deal with Rummel and Curtis and some of those guys in the playoffs. But obviously it's still not going to be an easy road when you look at a team like Acadiana potentially standing in the way. But I think Byrd's a team that we can see maybe a deep run from, at least, if not more.
All right. Well, led by top quarterback prospect Shea Patterson, one would think that Calvary Baptist will be in the hunt again this season after that pretty impressive performance they had last year.
Absolutely. Shea is as much a standout at quarterback as maybe anyone in the state, and they've got guys elsewhere: Shun Brown, Orlando Bradford, Greedy Williams, a few names that folks even down here probably know by now. Talked to Coach Bachman a week or two ago, and he said, yeah, you know, we should be as strong as anyone in that Division III group. We're pretty loaded. He said, I'll use the word loaded because y'all are using the word loaded, so I might as well throw it out there anyway because it's out there. And really, I don't see who else you could look at as a favorite in that playoff division other than Calvary.
All right. Well, you talked about Curtis just a second ago. They moved up to Division I. A team that also moved up to Division I would be Evangel Christian. Let's just talk about how that's going to play out, and how do you see that panning out for Evangel? Is it going to work out in their favor?
I think all the teams that moved up are going to end up having strong seasons. When you look at the Lafayette schools as well, St. Thomas More, Turlings Catholic, all those schools have tons of tradition. They're good every year pretty much, and I think we see that again this year. I think when you look at that Division I group, Curtis and Rummel are going to be the two that stand out as much as anybody as potential title favorites. So I don't have Evangel quite that high, and even looking at the Shreveport area, I don't know that Parkway and Calvary aren't maybe better than Evangel this year. So I think Evangel has a good year, but right now I'm not sold on them being in that Rummel Curtis group, if you ask me for a couple favorites there.
Okay. All right, well, now let's move on to a fun little game we like to call the lightning round. You'll have 30 seconds on the clock. When I say a school name, you'll tell me the first thing or things that come to mind about this certain school. So can I get 30 seconds on the clock? And let's start with West Monroe.
Interested to see the second year under Coach Arledge after Coach Shiles obviously passed away, and how John Randall Belton's doing on that knee.
All right, and Parkway.
I think they'll be real strong again, even without Brandon Harris. Keandre Woodty should be able to lead them pretty far.
Okay. Neville,
kind of business as usual up there. Should be as strong as maybe anyone in 4A other than Easton, but those guys can do things year in, year out.
Haynesville.
Same deal in 1A, tradition there pretty much every year.
Mangum.
Kemi Weeks' injury is big. We'll see how that pans out.
Time's up.
All right, well, that's going to do it. Thanks for coming in, and I think all the viewers have pretty much all the information they need to know about the prep season for the rest of the state for Louisiana.
I hope so, and if you guys need to hear me rap later, feel free, hit me up on Twitter or something.
All right, well, I'm Julie Boudwin. That's Jerit Roser. Until the next time, thanks for watching.